Hey guys, Marsingin here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are going to jump into the final stage of the Divine Wrath and Mortal Will stage to check out our boy Turles under a slightly better scenario. He does have type advantage in this first phase. I have finished getting mine to link level 10. I didn't check the friend. The friend is... well, that is an unfortunate spread. A link still at level 5. Oof. Big Bad Bosses is at level 8. My one is full link level 10 now. So we're going to see how well he gets on. Interesting first rotation here. At least we do have the LR Turles. So we have a few links active. We don't have Big Bad Bosses. So we're at 268k. Well, we'll see how we get on here. Obviously, Chi being on the first rotation, we are basically just relying on her to dodge everything. Otherwise, we immediately will lose. Chi is a very interesting addition, right, for Turles' team, being on Space Traveling Warriors, of course. Because, yeah, she just is the absolute definition of a dodge or die character. But she has a very high chance to dodge, and then, you know, she doesn't do damage, so you just build her full dodge anyway. So most of the time, you know, she comes through. We get the additional super from the passive. So, I mean, you can see straight away here, he does have a lot of support, but 7.3. Turles is a character. After I did the initial 55% showcase, we kind of talked about this a little bit. But like, he is a character that massively benefits from his links being leveled up. So the friend here, even though he's not full link level 10, all of those links, things like Thirst for Conquest, Destroyer of the Universe, you know, it's not just whether or not you have Big Bad Bosses active. All of these other links that he has are like, just give him so much extra power as they start to level up, right? So also, man, I've got the worst rotations. I've got both the units that I want to be in slot 1, basically, on this same rotation. Because I thought we would try out Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta on this team. Because obviously, Turles has a pure Saiyan leader skill for 170%. And Vegeta does get his damage reduction for 10 turns. But, I mean, as you can see, he's taken 62k from a normal. The important thing is his damage reduction number is so big that even though he is taking that much damage from a normal attack, he would not get one shot. Like, normally, if we see an enemy take 62k from a normal attack, that means a super attack is probably going to one-shot them, right? But with the way damage reduction works, it takes such a huge amount off of the overall amount of damage. Like, he's still going to take damage, right? But it's, you know, normally if a unit's taking 70k from a normal, they're taking, what, like 600, 700 minimum from a super, whereas this Vegeta obviously would not. So he doesn't share a lot of links with Turles, so it's not exactly going to be a great partnership. But, you know, my biggest struggle with making a really good team for Turles is who do we put in slot 1? And now STR-LR Cooler, I think, makes an interesting addition because obviously whilst he's not providing any support, he's a unit that can be very, very powerful. He gets the 200% leader skill from Turles, but he also has Big Bad Bosses, right? So on these rotations that we're going to have set up eventually, if we can even get that far, right? Because the Trunks event, I mean, he only has 1 HP bar. We're not doing crazy damage just yet, so I think, you know, we've still got a good few turns. But once we get the rotation set up the way we want them to, Turles doesn't have a Big Bad Bosses partner with him in slot 1, right? Because we're either going to have Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, or we're going to have the Amand and Raisin. But, man, that was a pretty scary start. I guess these guys really don't want to be in slot 3, do they? Yeah, I just wanted to get them floated off. I should have floated off Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, but what can you do? So, it doesn't matter if you super because you don't do any damage. So we'll do this. Turles getting multiple additionals is really good for healing you. The only problem is when you start the turn below a certain amount of HP, you don't get that additional from his passive. So we could be in a spot of trouble here, especially because, of course, as soon as Chi doesn't dodge, he just gets killed. Right, well, so far it has been almost impossible for me to get a good first turn in this event. It's a good thing you can redo the starting thing as many times as you want, as long as you can find friends, because there's no limited attempts on this event. But I mean, these guys in slot 1, 185k, they don't get their 20% damage reduction until they attack. So immediately, because I only have these guys at 55%, I'm really starting to see how they can kind of like fraud you out. So I am going to use an item here on the first. So it gives us the first 2 turns worth of protection. I feel like I talked about this maybe in the 55% showcase, and it's something we discussed on the episode of the Slot 1 Super podcast last night, but like Turles' team very much, and Turles himself embodies this with the way his abilities work, very much feels like a team where in these new hardest events where the enemies are hitting you super hard straight away from turn 1, like you want to be using an item to protect yourself at the very beginning. Because obviously on this first rotation, like we can get a little bit of build up here with our Turles. I mean, he's rocking a 6.8 million on turn 1. Is this my one or the friend? I'm assuming this is my one because I think the friend one's only 55%. Yeah, this is my one. So up to 7.1. I mean, in terms of damage output, like this is pretty good for turn 1. Now he is double supported, right? Amanda and Raisin give support, Chilai gives support. And of course, by doing 2 super attacks, he got an extra 80% damage, extra 80% defense and 10% damage reduction, which is pretty good. And obviously, we got a Whis active this turn anyway, right? So he was going to be able to tank those hits regardless. But him being able to get that little bit of build up early on, I think is really, really useful for him, right? Because he just these first few turns are going to be super shaky. Like even against Trunks, where he has type advantage. If you get like 1 super off in the first turn and don't have big bad bosses active because of the rotation that you might have gotten, right, then he's not taking double-digit damage from Trunks just because he has type advantage, which I think is a little bit sketchy. With Ginyu, everyone talks, there's always the direct comparison, right, because Turles kind of got the Ginyu treatment where he has these 2 side banner units, one of whom is supposed to be kind of like a designated slot 1 unit. But the problem is, the links that Ginyu shares with his side banner units, I believe, do they share is it loyalty, the one that gives a little bit of damage reduction? I actually don't remember. But Turles' most important link, realistically, is Big Bad Bosses, which they don't have. Now, they do have Destroyer of the Universe, which obviously is his unique link, which does give a decent chunk of defense at level 10. So obviously he does have that going for him, but for Turles to really be at his best, you want to have that Big Bad Bosses link active as well, which means ideally you want to have these units that are floating in slot 3 having Big Bad Bosses. I mean, look at the LR Turles army. I mentioned in the 55% showcase, right, how these guys are very much outdated at this point. And yeah, you see them even through a Whis taking that much damage. So things are not looking great, that's for sure. Turles, we are now below the HP threshold, so Turles won't be getting his guarantee, well, the additional from his passive, right? It's a guaranteed additional attack, and it has a chance to become a super, but he won't get that now. I don't know how it calculates it, right? Like, I don't know if, I'm pretty sure, if he does his first super, which obviously heals, and then he heals above 60%, does it then do the additional? Well, I guess not, right? Because I think we were above 60 after that. But I mean, now this is him 338. That's with type advantage. And he supered, what, 3 times? Because this one supered twice on the first turn. So he's got 15% damage reduction, as well as getting 3 out of his 4 defense buffs. He's linked up with STR Cooler, so he does have Big Bad Bosses. And then obviously the Amand and Raisin are giving him support and Destroyer of the Universe. All of that, and he still took that much damage from this Trunks. I mean, we did live, which is obviously great, but now we're moving into the Spirit Sword section, where we do not have type advantage, and this is where things are going to become a little bit more scary for our boy here. So we could do this. We could do this. Let's... I won't use the damage reduction, actually. Let's just pop a heal with the Senzu Bean here. But again, I don't know whether... Is this calculated at the start of the turn? HP is 50% or more. I think it might be, but I'm not too sure. I guess we'll find out, right? But if it's not, it's going to be pretty bad going for our boy here. I'm interested to see how much Vegeta takes from this, because he does have the big chunk of damage reduction and he has type advantage. But I mean, this does hit for what, like 2 million or something base? So 143k, look at that. I mean, he is getting support from Chilai, right? Because Chilai provides support to all allies. But, I mean, that's pretty good, right? Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, he's a super outdated unit. Like, he's not doing any damage here or anything. He's taking 13k from the normals. But to take that kind of low damage from Trunks is very, very good. But this is just another turn, the example that I've mentioned before, where Turles is really just going to not look good. Like, no big bad bosses and no Destroyer of the Universe. And he takes 300k from a normal attack from this Trunks. And now, obviously, of course, we rely on Chilai here. If she doesn't dodge any single one of these attacks, if it doesn't get dodged, we die. Fortunately, she came in clutch. But, I mean, like, how are these guys going to be on this turn, right? They don't get their damage reduction until they've attacked. They got 451k. So, I mean, as long as he doesn't super attack straight away, it's not the end of the world. But, yeah, I don't know, man. This is... Turles, when it comes to the unit himself... I still have some reservations, like maybe he is a little bit more disappointing to me than I really had hoped he was going to be. But my biggest issue, and I've said it multiple times now, like my biggest issue is his team. His team doesn't have a lot of like really, really good slot 1 units. And then, yeah, you need floating units that are giving you big bad bosses. I mean, this turn, he's at a 9 million attack stat. This is one of the turns where, you know, he's going to look good in terms of what he's doing. So we got a 9 mil. We didn't get the additional super from the first part of his passive, but then we get the hidden potential additional, which then opens up the extra part of his passive where he can get an extra attack, which could be a super, but unfortunately it was not. And then, yeah, he tanks the normals for double digits, but there's no way we don't die to this, right? Yeah, 1.2 million, and that's with him having gotten, what? In total, he must have gotten 4 supers, because he did 2 in that turn. So that's him having 20% damage reduction, and his passive fully built up on a turn where that's probably his best rotation, where he has both of his best support units, and that's how much damage we took. So, I mean, it was type neutral, and Trunks is one of the hardest hitting bosses in the game, so, you know, it's a little bit of a bad case scenario for Turles, but, yeah, it's just a little bit disappointing. I might try a video against Goku Black, but obviously the beginning part's going to be tricky because he's STR, and then once we get to the int phase at the end, maybe Turles can cook a little bit, but, yeah, it's just, I feel like his team is more of the letdown than he is, right? Like, why they didn't easy A this guy during the celebration to be the perfect like partner for him, I really do not know. But let me know what you guys think down below. I really want to like Turles as a unit. I think some of the stuff that he does is really cool, but the more I use his team and try and build his team for these difficult events, the more I am, you know, getting a little bit disappointed with this situation. Because again, he's not on any other 200% teams other than Raditz and Ginyu. So there's other teams that he could be cool to run on as an extra like floating support maybe, if you were able to get his intro animation, which we can't in any relevant events. So I just, man, I really, really wanted to like Turles. I like it. There's certain aspects of his design I like. I think he looks cool. I think his animations are cool. But yeah, the more I use him in these difficult events, the more he seems to not quite be performing at the level that we would like. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.